In this episode, we'll be talking about PHP conditionals, and a conditional allows you to run a certain piece of code if a condition is met. So let's jump into it, and it will make more sense as we go along. So let's say that I have a variable called my socks, and that is equal to the string blue. So the color of my socks are blue. So first we want to run an if statement to check if our socks are blue, then we want to print out a message. If not, we want to print out a different message. So we can do that by creating our first if statement. And we can say if, and we want to see if a condition is met, and we do that inside of these parentheses. We can say my socks are equal to blue. And notice that we're using the double equals, because if we only use one equals, we are essentially assigning the value to the variable. So by using these double equals, we are comparing if that variable has this value. So then we need to open up a curly brace, and then we will also close it with another curly brace. And this is essentially saying anything inside of this if statement we want to run. So if this condition is met, we want to run all the code inside of these curly braces. So we'll just echo out a message and just say, my socks are blue. And then we want to say if that condition is not met, so if my socks are blue, else we want to echo out another message. So you can see the same thing with the else statement. We have the open and close curly braces. And we'll say echo, my socks are not blue. So let's save that. Let's reload our page, and you can see that we get the message, my socks are blue, because we met this condition, so we ran this piece of code. So next, let's set these socks equal to red. And sure enough, if we reload, we get the message, my socks are not blue. So what we can do is we can have these if-else statements to run specific code based on whether a condition is met or not. So there's one more piece to this if-else statement. We can also add an else-if statement. So we can say else if, and maybe we want to check if the socks are equal to red. So we can say else if the socks are equal to red, we want to echo out a different message. So I can say my socks are red. And here we want to say my socks are not blue or red. So if I save this and we reload, we're going to get the message, my socks are red. So you can see we can add as many of these else if statements as we want. So we can have if, else if, and then finally an else statement. So I could add another one and say that if, else if, my socks are green, then we want to print out this new message. So you can see that it can kind of get really messy if you have a bunch of else if statements, and typically sometimes people will use what is called a switch statement. So switch statements are not used as much nowadays. I don't see them that often, but it's good to know that it's there. So sometimes if you have a lot of cases where the socks could be blue, red, or green, then we can run what is called a switch statement. So we'll start off by writing switch, and then we pass in the variable. So I will pass in my socks, and we can say if the case is that the value is red, we want to print out this specific message. So I can say echo, my socks are red. And then down here we have a default condition that would be met. So we could say echo, my socks are not red or blue. So let me add one more case up here. I could say case, in the case that the socks are blue, then we want to echo out, my socks are blue. And then we always have a break. So after we hit the specific case, then we do our command, and then we call the break keyword, which will break out of the switch statement. So let me save this. Let's reload, and you can see that we get the same message, my socks are red. If we change the value back to blue and we reload, we will get the value, my socks are blue. So switch statements are totally fine to use. It's good to know that we have them there, but in most cases, we'll still use the if, else if command. So make sure to familiarize yourself with these if statements. You will be writing them over and over again as your application grows. So that is the basics of PHP conditionals. In the next video, we'll be talking about operators and how you have these equals equals, how you can also have a greater than equals. We'll also talk about arithmetic operators and a bunch of other stuff. It'll be a pretty quick video. So let's wrap up this one, and I will see you in the next. Hey, thanks for checking out this PHP Basics video series. I hope you follow me on Twitter at TNYLEA, and if you're interested in moving on to the next video, go ahead and click right up here. And if you want to check out my latest course called SaaS Adventure, be sure to click right there, and it will teach you how to create your own profitable software as a service. But that's it for now. Thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video.